Hi, here's another question we received, and that is, what is a consumer Christian? And I know we received this question because in one of my sermons not too long ago I mentioned it, so let's clarify what we mean by a consumer Christian. Now, consumerism in a business sense is all about consumer satisfaction. Right? And consumer satisfaction is key to the success of a business. The product or service must be tailored to the wants and the perceived needs of the consumer and the customer. And without it, there is no profit. The consumer rules because if there is no customer, there is no profit, and therefore there would be no business. Now, in biblical Christianity, on the other hand, our customer or consumer must be God. And customer satisfaction is about aiming to please God in everything that we do. The only way the customer is king or rules in a healthy church is if that customer is God. According to a research, there are 5 key signs of a consumer Christian. So here they are. Number 1, constant church shopping. Someone who is always looking for a better deal. Naturally, from time to time, there are valid reasons to look for a church. Maybe you just moved into a new area, or maybe something has gone really wrong in the church you've been a part of. Or, very importantly, if the church is not being taught, you are encouraged to look for another church. Secondly, there's a critical spirit. People who always assess what's in it for me. A critical spirit will be constantly and selfishly finding fault with those around them. Consumer Christians care more about what others can do for them and their family rather than what they can do for God and His kingdom and the people of God in a local church. The third characteristic of a consumer Christian is lack of fellowship. So I'll come to church only when it's convenient. Attendance patterns will be random because they will only turn up when they feel like it. Much like going to the movies, you'll only go if there's a movie premiere that you really want to see. Fourthly, there's a lack of relationships to those around them. Because relationships, of course, can be hard work. So people avoid engaging in conversations with others and maybe try to skip quickly after the church service ends. There's no fellowship and there's no relationships with people because people are hard work. And finally, there's an unbiblical expectation of church leadership. In other words, we pay them, so they need to do all the work. In Philippians 1, verse 5 says this, "In all my prayers for all of you, I always pray with joy." Why? Because of your partnership in the gospel from the first day until now. So the Philippians realized that being a part of the church called for active involvement. A vital interest in seeing others grow and others following Jesus. Being involved in strategic investment in other churches, helping those around them. And a very deep, encouraging affection for their brothers and sisters, and in this passage for Paul, who they were supporting financially in his ministry. Ultimately, consumer Christians are passive believers, and biblical Christians are active believers. So here's my encouragement for you. Look for ways to serve rather than waiting to be served. Look for newcomers and people who join the church and just say welcome, smile, greet them, welcome them. And at the very least, look around your church family and notice people who are serving. And approach them and express your gratitude for what they're doing for you, for God's kingdom, for the local church. We're not called to be consumer Christians because we're not called to be passive. Every believer must be a functioning believer. Therefore, a biblical church goer is someone who is actively involved in the kingdom of God by serving and being part of what God is doing in the local church. Again, thank you for your questions. If you have any more questions, please write them in the comment box or email them at ask@vision-church.com. God bless you.